eligible week 3 and 4 of the preseason, and then after he'd make a decision, Roger Goodell, by week 6. So I don't know why he's not eligible this week, but I don't think he'd be ready anyway.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd put him on the field this week just because I'm just a little concerned about I have no clue what shape he's in and all that. Nobody does. Hopefully, because Prison's known to do this, he's ripped because he's probably working out. That's all he got time to do.
That sounded like a joke, but you're right. For real.
No, it is. But it's just funny because it's always like, guy goes to prison, comes back, he's like all buff and everything. So hopefully that's the case.
I don't know. If I was in prison, I'd probably be working out a ton because what else is there to do?
That's what everybody says. Yeah. There's nothing else to do, so you end up working out. All right, that's enough Vic talk. I do want to touch on one thing real quick because we had our first slate of preseason games. We had 3 quarterbacks off the top of my head that debuted with their new teams. The obvious ones, basically all the big trades this offseason. Jay Cutler with the Bears, Kyle Orton with the Denver Broncos, and Matt Castle with the Kansas City Chiefs.
And then there were several draft picks that
there were a bunch of draft picks. Mark Sanchez was the big name that debuted, and so did Matthew Stafford.
Yes.
Are you impressed with anybody at this point?
Did anybody like stand out to me?
Yeah.
No. I mean, it's
anybody looking terrible?
Yeah.
Kyle Orton
didn't look so good.
Kyle Orton.
That's what I was gonna say.
3 picks.
That's what I was gonna say.
I'm just excited about that because he plays for Denver.
He didn't look too good. I've never been all about him though. I'm glad the Bears. I mean, I've never been all about him.
I did defend him on the show previously, but I'm not gonna lie. It's looking pretty good this year.
I mean, nobody looked all that great.
Castle looked pretty terrible. Not Orton. Cutler didn't look that great.
You know, the quarterback that I've seen like play from that actually I thought looked pretty decent. Once again, this is all in 2 or 3 series. I thought Bills Edwards, Trent Edwards. I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, his stats also backed it up. He was 12 for 12 with but it's just a series. But he looked pretty decent with like his decision making and everything.
I didn't see much of him from their Bears game. What I saw of him in the Hall of Fame game, he looked terrible.
Oh, he looked good in the Bears game.
Yeah.
So, but see, it's the first week. But to answer your question, none of those 5 that we've named, the debuts. Really
I would say
me.
Sanchez looked the best, but Sanchez wasn't starting his game, so that's kind of an asterisk on that. Between that, Cutler and Stafford probably the 2 best looking ones. They both had like 50%, and Stafford threw a touchdown and a pick, and Cutler just threw a pick. And the other 2 guys, Castle and Orton, didn't look that good at all. I'm disappointed, but hey, what are you going to do? It's preseason. I don't really tell that too much. Okay, we got some quick MLB stuff to talk about. You might want to be the one to fill us in on that because this is more your area.
Yeah. What's interesting is a couple of weeks ago, Major League Baseball announced that they came out with a new helmet that's designed and engineered to withstand a hit to the head of 100 miles per hour. The current helmet, the one that they've been using for 500 years, is one that is built to only withstand up to 70 miles per hour. Mm-hmm. And let's be honest, who throws 70 unless,
Pedro Martinez does.
Unless you're throwing a knuckleball, you're not throwing 70, you're throwing over that. And what's interesting is a lot of players, there were a few players that said, bring it on, I'll wear it right now. But a lot of them were just like, I don't know. And then what's interesting is this weekend on Saturday, terribly enough, 2 batters were hit directly in the noggin.
And then, 1 pitcher.
And then I was just going to say, and then a pitcher who wouldn't be wearing a helmet anyway, but then a pitcher got hit on a line drive straight back up the middle and got hit. And
right in the forehead too.
Yeah, it was scary. But it's just interesting because now the debate has been flamed up even more about this new helmet and who would wear it and if they should mandate it or whatever. But the big news is David Wright was one of the players, one of the Mets' main everyday players, was taken to the hospital, had a concussion, was diagnosed with post-concussion syndrome or whatever it's called, and is on the DL and might miss the rest of the season.
Yeah, that's what Jerry Manuel just said. That he's on the 15-day disabled list, but I mean the guy got hit in the head with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball. I mean that's a plastic helmet he's wearing. So if he's gone the rest of the season, and Manuel just said it's a possibility. So this isn't like set in stone. In fact, we probably won't know for a couple more weeks what his status is. But I mean the guy got hit in the head with a fastball. I mean, can you blame him if he misses the rest of the season?
No.
You hit me in the head with a 94-mile-an-hour fastball, and I don't think I can speak a comprehensible sentence the rest of my life. This gift of gab, one might say I have, gone.
Yeah, it's really scary. I would love to see like, there was actually a player on the Padres, I don't remember who it was, but that got hit in the head either last year or the year before or this year. It got hit in the head with the ball, and he said, "You know what? I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. Bring it on." He's like, "I would wear that thing tomorrow," and I think that, I mean, really, even if it's not fashionable or whatever they want to say, I mean, really,
what's the comfort level on it?
Yeah, well, that I don't know.
Because that's the big thing. Like the biggest comparison I can think of something like this was the safety wave of the Hutchins and Hans devices in NASCAR a few years ago, like in '01. A lot of drivers resisted them. It was just uncomfortable to wear that, and it felt very restrictive, especially the Hans device.
Yeah.
So I mean, is it just a pain to wear? I mean, it could be that. I have no clue. I haven't even seen this helmet. I didn't even know they had designed this thing. Major League Baseball should probably make it mandatory ASAP because it seems like there's a lot of people getting hit these days. It's going on all the time. I mean, like you guys talked about it last week, it happened, and there was like the big fight, and it happened a couple weeks ago too with Prince Fielder. I mean, it was like 3 weeks in a row now. We've had big names getting hit by pitches. I mean, you got to do something to either protect them or to put it into it.
And then especially when you get here and up, and then it's just like you gotta not cool.
Though, I mean, pretty awesome highlights. Gotta say, it looks awesome when you see a guy go down with that. I mean, you feel bad as long as you know he's okay.
Oh, yeah. Are you talking about getting hit in the head?
Yes. What do you think I meant?
No, I thought you meant like the brawls and the fighting.
Oh, those two.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
of course.
Yeah.
I like fighting in all sports. Okay. I have a quick bone to pick with you guys. So, last week you and Kyle had your top 5 lists, and I watched from home in the control room.
Okay.
And the top 5 list was top 5 pitchers in baseball. I would like to know why Josh Beckett did not make your top 5.
I guess I never even thought of him.
How dare you?
In my opinion, you even know who that is?
I keep up on things like this, actually. I remember him. Guy's got 2 World Series rings. He's been a solid pitcher on the Red Sox the last 3 years.
Neither one of us did.
Neither did. Trust me, I talked to Kyle about this the other day, too. And actually, Kyle just said flat out he doesn't see him in the top 5, though he said he was a contender. I just wanted to point that out because I guess we didn't have any feedback on this one, unfortunately. If we did, I would point that out. So I'm the one giving feedback, which is, personally, I thought Josh Beckett would be in my top 5 if I were making those pitches.
I guess I'll just say point blank, I didn't even think about him. I guess I wouldn't consider him, in my top 5, but I just completely forgot about him.
All right. Well, and because we were talking about it, and even Josh mentioned that he would probably drop out. I think it was Verlander. I think that's his name.
And Kyle's for
Beckett. That would be his number 5.
Oh yeah, I probably would too. Now that I think about it,
Beckett to me has a reputation. At least, I mean, here's as the non-fan, if there's a guy that sticks out to me, as I recognize not via anything else except that I know that he's been pitching in big games and doing really well, as he's been doing well. That's the guy that's really good to me. I mean, I've heard the name Roy Halladay a lot lately, but I've never heard of him before the trade rumors fired up. That's not to say he's not a good pitcher. I just he hasn't eclipsed that, I guess, the outer world of sports fans who don't watch baseball.
I know what you're talking about because there's a few of those in like every sport. Yeah.
Because everybody knows who Sidney Crosby is, so who's the best player in the NHL? A lot of people probably say Sidney Crosby just because they don't know him.
Exactly, and
he might be
and
still.
Tiger Woods is a good example. LeBron,
Tiger Woods legitimately is the best golf player, though.
Well, that's.
Yeah, but there's always going to be a few players. I mean, if you ask all non-basketball fans, probably know who Shaquille O'Neal is. And I would probably say Kobe Bryant and LeBron James. So those are 3. I mean, Shaq isn't anymore, but he was one of the bigger names or one of the bigger players in the sport. So that's the only reason I was bringing that up.
Yeah, no, that's
to me as an outsider. Like I thought Beckett would be a shoe-in for both your lists.
That's a very interesting point. I just never even thought about it.
That's my litmus test. All right, which is a good segue because now we have top 5 lists to do, and we're actually going to do kind of 2 today. Because we were talking about this. So you lead it this week, or do you want me to lead it? I haven't been here for a couple weeks. If you want, I can do it. I don't care. Just pick a choice.
You do it.
I'll do it. Okay, because I've been talking for 20 minutes straight. I don't want to take anything away from you. We were going to do this last week, or we suggested doing it last week, but we went with the baseball one to suit Kyle a little bit better. Now the NASCAR fans are back, we're going to do a NASCAR one. But here's where it kind of went in 2 different directions. We want to talk about the top 5 tracks that you'd like to see on the NASCAR schedule that isn't currently. Now, the thing about that is there's 2 different types of tracks, really. There's tracks that legitimately are in existence, built and operate in other racing series somewhere, and then there's those racetracks which you've played on the NASCAR video games that you like and you'd like to see in real life, but aren't actually in existence anywhere. And we couldn't necessarily agree. Well, we weren't really arguing, but we decided that'd be better if we made a list separately for both.
Yeah.
Because, in my opinion, it makes more sense if you just do a list of real ones.
Yeah.